All right, folks. So a whole new wave of polls have dropped. We're gonna take a look at them because the narrative has been it's shifting towards Trump. All this stuff. The RNC just concluded. He appeared to get a 2 to 4 point bump from the RNC, but it appears to be the case that he's now continuing to get destroyed, and the shift actually seems to be back towards Biden, which likely is probably because of maybe the RNC boost fading away, or maybe it's the riots that are actually going against Trump. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's a mix of both. Who knows? But first off, an IBD TIPP poll came out, which has Biden +8, Biden 49%, Trump 41%. Okay, that's between August 29th and September 1st, so pretty recent. CNN also dropped a poll. Now, I don't like these polls really because I don't even know how you get 15 battleground states, but they have Biden +5 in these 15 battleground states, so take that for what you will, but I'm not really big on these kinds of combination polls. They're pretty misleading. This is a poll that I like a lot. This is a Quinnipiac poll. It has Biden up 10 on Trump, 52, Trump 42% national lead. So what I like about this is when you sort of cross-reference what the results are, it seems to make sense. It's got among white voters, it's got Trump at 50%, Biden at 46%. Among black voters, it has Biden at 83%, Trump at 11%. And among Hispanics, it has Biden at 56% and Trump at 36%. So these actually seem to make sense. An Emerson poll dropped that made 0% sense. It had Trump's black support at like 19% or something higher like that. It had Biden dominating in the suburbs by 22 points, and it had Trump winning the cities, and none of that made any sense. And so when I look at that, I'm like, okay, your poll is dog shit. It's stupid. So I think a good way to sort of judge a poll is really to look at sort of the crosstabs of, all right, what exactly is it saying the results are based on demographics? Because some of them are just so ludicrous, you can just toss them in the garbage. This makes sense. This is a very plausible thing. Hispanics are conservative. Hispanics in the, not all of them, obviously, but there's a good chunk that are conservative. In addition to that, there's actually, there was a sort of denial of Joe Biden in the primary, in the Democratic primary. Who did they choose? They chose Bernie Sanders. They didn't choose Joe Biden. So they don't even like Joe Biden. So this definitely seems like this is what's going to happen. And I said this a long time ago. I was like, people are going to be surprised with how much the Hispanic vote turns right this time, which is what's going to happen. I don't think the black vote will end up being as high as 11, but if it hits 11, I won't be like crazy surprised, because he's done definitely a lot of things. Pandering, so maybe, but that definitely seems to be something. This is really plausible result, I would say. Economist YouGov poll, Biden at 51%, Trump at 40%. That's a +11 lead. So these are all actual real pollsters. It's not Rasmussen, it's not Zogby, it's not Trafalgar Group or some right-wing dipshit organization. And what I noticed was post-RNC, there seemed to be a flooding of polls from right-wing organizations. It was clearly planned and a clear attempt at trying to fix the results, basically. Now, Biden is +7.2 in the RCP average, but the truth is it would be far higher if there weren't these outlier polls in here that actually were bringing it down, like this +2 from Emerson, which that's the poll that made 0 sense when you actually cross-tab it. But as you can see, that +2 for Biden is bringing it down. Rasmussen had a poll, a couple weeks ago that has Biden just +1. Those are bringing down the number. The truth is, it's really like more like a +8, maybe +8.5 even. And anytime there's a saying if there's a shift, it has to be something like this. So if all these polls were to come out, by the way, there's also a CNN poll that came out that has has Biden up 8. Sorry, and the previous CNN poll had Biden up only 4. I'm not a big fan of CNN polls because they seem to be pretty volatile and pretty, they change up on you a lot. But Joe Biden continues to hold a commanding lead. A national lead of 8 points is a lot. And I think that, honestly, the riots that are going on right now, I think really is going to end up working against Donald Trump, because Trump is president, and generally speaking, anytime something is happening under a presidency, they tend to blame that person for that, which, some makes sense, some doesn't make sense, but I think that's definitely what's going on here. It certainly seems to be the case that that's what's going on here, because his numbers are staying pretty much in the gutter, and Biden seems to be doing pretty damn well in the polls. So I stand by my prediction that Joe Biden's going to win this election I think he's going to win it pretty smoothly. I mean, for Trump to win, there would have to be some sort of miraculous Hail Mary, some Aaron Rodgers last-second Hail Mary. It's just no way. Even if he's within the margin, even if Biden's within the margin of error, that would literally mean that every single thing would have to go in the favor of Trump, which is, what are the odds of that? Especially when you're a president with COVID and George Floyd and all these riots that are going on. What are the odds of that happening? They're pretty low, especially when you don't really have much of a coalition left. So, depending on whoever you support, this could be good or bad news, but he's definitely demolishing Trump still. There's no poll shift. This race is not tightening up. That's all fake news that's being manufactured by right-wing pollsters.